Let us learn alphabet U. Umbrella, uniform. The teacher points to the picture and says the name of the object. Children should repeat the word. Umpire, urn, utensils, U-turn. Let us learn alphabet V. Van, vegetables, violin, vulture, vest. Let us learn alphabet W. Watch, well, woodpecker, wheel, watermelon, window. Let us learn alphabet X. Capital X, Christmas tree, X-ray, sun post, Xerox machine, exopollen, Cosa pupil. Let us learn alphabet Y. Yak, yakat, yarn, uyute, toy, yarn, yoke. Let us learn alphabet Z. Zebra, zero, zip, zoo, zigzag, zebra crossing. Look and say alphabet Q, R, S, T. Question mark, Q, U, Q, quilt, rock, rainbow, rope, spoon, sheep, shoes, telephone, tree, tomato. Look and say alphabet U, V, W. Umpire, urn, utensils, vulture, vase, vest, well, woodpecker, watermelon. House. We all live in a house. Houses are of different types. Houses in villages, timber hut, palm leaf hut, mud hut. Houses in cities, straw hut, single strawed house, double strawed house, farm house, apartment, bungalow. All about animals. We see many animals around. Big animals, elephant, giraffe, camel, horse. Rooms in a model house. Drawing room, kitchen, study room, dining room, bedroom, bathroom and toilet. Small animals. Rabbit, goat, donkey, sheep, dog, cat, parrot, cow. Wild animals: deer, bear, lion, zebra. We can see wild animals in the zoo. Water animals: fish, frog, crocodile, tortoise. These animals live in or near water. We see many things in the garden. These are big and small plants. Big plants are called as trees. Rose plant, lemon plant, mango tree, green grass and beautiful flowers. Grass, flowers, birds and their nuts. Parrot, pigeon, crow, sparrow. Insects: butterfly, ladybird, and small animals: squirrel, garden lizard, rat, gardener and his things, lawnmower, spade, hand sprinkler, gardener, pipe. Look and say alphabet A, B, C, D. Aeroplane, angle, alarm, clock, basket, bird, bat, carrot, cake, cow, drum, donkey, door. Look and say alphabet E, F, G, H. Egg, eel, emu, fingers, hood, flower, glass, giraffe, grass, house, horse, honey. Look and say alphabet I, J, K, L. Angelo. Igloo. Insect. Iron box. Juice. Jar. Joker. King. Kettle. Kitten. Lock. Lamb. Lamb. Look and say alphabet M, N, O, P. Mouse, mobile, mushroom, nuts, nest, nail, oven, octopus, ostrich, pigeon, pineapple, penguin. Let us learn alphabet Q. Queen, quail, coyote, question mark, quail. Let us learn alphabet R. Rabbit, rainbow, rock, ring, rose, rope. Let us learn alphabet S. Sun, ship, spoon, spider, sheep, shoes. Let us learn alphabet T. Tomato, tiger, telephone, tree, tap, toy. Let us do tick the picture that starts with the letters Q, R, S, T. Queen, queen. R, orange. Octopus, rabbit, sun, ball, kangaroo. T, tiger, nose, banana. Depositors in environment. Is the environment the same all over the earth? Look at the following pictures. How is the human life in the deserts where dusty winds blow continuously? The style of dressing of the people of the Arabian deserts have close relation with the climate of that region. As water is scarce, agriculture is generally poor. Yet region is densely populated and is quite prosperous as well. This is due to the rich petroleum deposits. Have you heard of places situated below sea level? Our Kuttanad is an example for this. Such a topography is very rare even in the world. People living amidst the backwaters and other water-lodged areas have reclaimed the land through immense toil. This lifestyle is centered on duck farming, paddy and coconut cultivation, etc. Today, tourism has also become an important activity in the life of these people. Siberian region, limited resource and hostile climate are the factors that prevent human habitation here. Yet people live there. These examples might have convinced you that people set their life in accordance with the environment. But over to exploitation and unscientific interventions will cause imbalances in nature. Given below are a few questions related to the resource utilization in the above mentioned environments. Record your inferences on them. What if the petroleum in the Arabian region gets exhausted due to over-exploitation? The delicate balance of the environment in Kuttanad is on the verge of destruction. What will be the possible consequences? What are the measures adopted by the people of Sibarala for their life. Environmental protection. What? Why? Man is just one among the numerous organisms on earth. No other organism on earth depends on their organisms so much for its sustenance. The plants and animals in the environment provide us food, clothing, shelter, medicine, fuel, etc. Like air and water, soil is also important for survival. You have already learned about ecosystem and food chain. Man is the last link in of man in nature with selfish motives will have adverse effects. Interaction in nature without despairing its diversity is an important aspect in the conversation of the environment. Conservation of the environment and its diversity is a must for the healthy sustenance of not only man but all life forms as well. Gentle stroke and severe strike. The march of seasons is astonishing. Thunder and lightning that convoy the rainy season. Snow fall at some places where wind blows continuously from a light breeze to cyclones that destroyed everything. Landslide occurs in the hilly terrain during rainy seasons and flood in the lowlands. Natural phenomena turn destructive at times. Natural phenomena that are hazardous to life, property and environment are known as natural hazards. The name of a few natural phenomena are listed on the board. Identify natural hazards from the list.
Selection of social studies curriculum. It is only through sharing with others that the pupils of world can really enjoy the blessings of the Mother Earth. Curriculum approach in economics. For successful living in a developing society where socio-economic changes are occurring rapidly, it will be helpful if some rudimentary understanding of economic forces that influence the citizens' daily life is given even at the middle stage. From this point of view, it appears desirable to introduce some elementary knowledge of consumer economics such as earning and spending controls, prices rise and the effects of increasing population in a very simplified form. Curriculum approach to social sciences in classes. History. A systematic course in the history of mankind from prehistoric times to the present day should be introduced for classes. This does not mean a chronological continuous narrative, but the selection of patches that have a certain unity and distinctiveness along with many diversities. The main basis of selection of these patches may be the successive stages of distinct social formations that existed in different parts of the world. In specific chronological periods, the main focus of this course should be on the study of social systems in their rise and growth and their replacement by new forms, and on scientific and cultural development. The historical data, the historical Africa and the America should be covered. The selection of the content should be based on the specific histories of individual countries only where these histories have significant bearing on the general history of mankind and represent new trends which became relevant to the history of mankind as a whole. Along with the above, there should be a course in depth on certain aspects of Indian history, particularly the social, economic and cultural development and the factors that have a close bearing on the understanding of contemporary India. Teaching of civics. In these classes, the two major objectives of teaching civics should be to promote an active and intelligent citizenship and to develop an intelligent understanding of the structure and working of the social and political institutions. In addition to this understanding that the UNO is playing a significant role in strengthening world peace and cooperation should be also promoted. From this point of view, the course in the classes include the meaning and scope of civics, community life, forms of government, rights and duties, and democracy in action. The students would study the structure and functions of political and social institutions in India, and the role of UN is maintaining world peace. Some basic elements of sociology should also be introduced. Teaching of economics. At the terminal stage of general education, the subject of geography should shift its emphasis from the more descriptive to the somewhat analytical and conceptual in its presentation. This should bring it closer to the philosophy and spirit of general education. A few selected detailed studies from world geography and economic geography of India should also be undertaken, besides a brief analytical study of all the different aspects of the same. Teaching geography. The approach of teaching economics at the lower secondary stage should emphasize not so much the principles of economics as the current problems and issues that affect the everyday life of the man. While doing so, some light should of course be thrown on the principle of economics as well. Such as introductory course would, it is hoped, lay down the necessary foundations for more systematic, rigorous course in the classes. The course should include a brief review of the economic conditions of India at the start of British rule. This should prepare the ground to understand the need for the economic development of India through the national plans and help to appreciate their objectives. As a part of his introduction to economic institutions, child should be introduced to the role of money and financial institutions. The current economic problems such as poverty, rising prices, agriculture, stagnation, etc. would be discussed. The course would throw some light on the future economic prospects of the country on the basis of its potential resources and performance shown as far. Curriculum suggested by Isher by Patel Committee 1977. Environmental studies. Our family, life, structure and functions. Our home, shelter, facilities, love. Our school, teachers, building, learning. Our neighborhood, life, work, cleanliness, space. Our earth, features, vegetation, water, minerals. Our sky, lights, heat, weather, stars. Man's life, interesting, imaginative stories. Environmental studies, the world we live in, continents, oceans, our country in the world, life in the district, setting, occupation, festivals, life in our state, location, relief, vegetation, resources, occupations, communications, life in our country, food, clothing, occupations, languages, festivals, institutions which help us, panchayats, cooperatives, centers, education, transport, environmental studies, India, physical divisions, mountains, plains, rivers and plains, India, resources, human and national, soil, water, minerals, India, transport and communications, on land, water and air, post and telegraph, telephone. The people of India, national symbols and festivals, one country, Indian heritage, monuments, music, dances, religions, scripts, languages, handicrafts, festivals, Indian heritage, stories of famous rulers, reformers, writers, scientists, saints, our freedom struggle, briefly through some of the more prominent leaders, the globe and map of the world, hemispheres, equator, poles, tropics, Arctic circles, India and neighboring countries, man's ways of living life and occupations in some distinctive areas of the world, tundra, savanna, desert, equatorial, Mediterranean, our shrinking world, transport and communications, land, sea, air, ratio, television, newspapers, cinema, satellites, how we govern ourselves, the state and central government's fundamental rights, directive principles, duties of citizen, the United Nations, cooperation among nations, work of UNICEF, WHO, UNESCO, India in the UN, the changing world, stories of scripts, numbers, trade, money, discoveries and scientists, Columbus, Galileo, Newton, Einstein, great men, Socrates, Lincoln, Lenin, Tolstoy, Mahatma Gandhi, history, prehistory, man as a nomad, discovery and use of metals, invention in the wheel, farming, teaching of social studies, the Harappan culture, cities, occupations, religion, scripts, life in the Vedic age, settlements, economic and political life, religion, rise of Magadha, kingdoms and republic, emergence of towns, Jainism and Buddhism, the Mauryan Empire, Persian and Greek invasions, Chandragupta, Maurya, Ashoka administration, India from 200 BC to AD 300, Satyavahans, Cholas, Pandyas, Cheras, Shakkas, Kushanas, the age of the Guptas, administration, trade, religion, art, science, India from AD 500 to AD 800, Harsha, the Deccan and South India, art and architecture, India and the world, rise of the Islam, the Arabs in India, India's contacts with other countries, history, modern India, India from AD 800 to AD 1200, kingdoms of South religion, architecture, the struggle of Kanwaj, Turkish invasions, religion, art and architecture, the Sultan of Delhi, Mamluks, Khaliljis, Tuklas, the Bahamani and Vijayanagar kingdoms, Sufi and Bhakti movements, the advent of the Mughals and the Europeans, kingdoms in the Deccan, Renaissance in Europe, voyages of discovery, the Mughal Empire, Akbar, Jahangir and Shah Jahan, Aurangabad, rise of the Marathas, art, architecture, literature, decline of the Mughal Empire, invasions, rise of independent and states. History, India in the 18th century, expansion of the Maratha power, society and polity, the rise and growth of British Empire in India, the Carnatic Wars, the British conquest of Bengal, British paramountcy, administrative structure of the British Empire in India, civil, judicial, revenue system, impact of British rule on Indian economy and society up to 1875, the village economy, industry and trade, education and social reform, the revolt of 1857, cause, natural results, reorganization of the British Empire in India, the Act of 1858, civil services, policy of divide and rule, changes in economy and society after 1858, agriculture and railways, plantations, industry and economic conditions. Social life, education, social and religious reform movements, cultural awakening, rise of Indian nationalism and the struggle for freedom, the Indian National Congress, partition of Bengal, the Gandhian era, civil disobedience, the INO, Quit India movement, achievement of independence, immediate problems, civics, development of the community scheme, cooperatives, community development, local government, rural, need, structure and functions, local government, urban, structure and functions, district administration, law and order, civic amenities, preservation of property of the community, public property, its preservation, historical movements, project work, opportunities to develop abilities which are essential for any active citizen in India, problems, civics. Chief features of our constitution, basic principles, national government, state governments, rights, duties, directive principles, national symbols, lawmaking process, parliament, state legislature, how laws are made, executing laws, president, prime minister and the council of ministers, governor, chief minister and the councils of ministers, public services, interrupting law, Supreme Court, high courts and subordinate courts, project work, civics, independent India, achievements and challenges, our national goals, democracy, socialism and secularism, international cooperation, strengthening our democracy, citizenship in a democracy, literacy in India, social and economic reconstruction, poverty, population, unemployment, catechism, 5-year plans, achievements and failures, agriculture, industries and rural life. Defense of the country, armed forces, territorial army, border security force, NCC, ACC, citizens and defense, India and the world, need for cooperation, coexistence, the United Nations, project work, geography, the earth as a globe, distance and direction on a map, the earth and the solar systems, rotation, revolution, latitude and longitude. Africa, land and people, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. Equatorial lands, savanna lands, Sahara lands and the Mediterranean lands. Asia, land and people, land, climate, vegetarian and wildlife. The people, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Burma and Sri Lanka. Geography. Atmosphere and hydrosphere. Air temperature, pressure and winds. Australia, land and people, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. The people. South America, land and people, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. People. Canada, the United States. Practical work, observation and keeping records of sunrise and sunsets, stars and constellations, studying local maps, landforms in the neighborhood. Geography. Lithosphere and landforms, the crust of the earth, rocks. Europe, land and people, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. The people. France and the United Kingdom and Germany. The Soviet Union, land, climate, vegetation and wildlife. The people. India, physical setting, relief, climate, vegetation and wildlife. India, its agricultural resources, soils, irrigation, crops, methods of farming. India, minerals and industries, iron, coal, petroleum, bauxite, manganese, textiles, sugar, oil, refinery, heavy industries, small scale and cottage industries. India, transport and population, internal and external, land, water and air, population, distribution, density. Practical work, weather study, daily weather, observation and recording. History of mankind. Prehistory, stages of evaluation, development, Paleolithic and Neolithic. First civilizations, Bronze Age, Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, China. Ancient civilization, Iron Age, contribution and influence of Asia, ancient Greece, Rome, India, China, rise of world religions. The medieval Europe and Asia, developments in Europe, West Asia, India and China, feudalism. The Renaissance and the rise of nation states, rise of towns and cities, learning, discoveries and exploration, scientific development, nation states, colonization, capitalism, industrial revolution, revolutionary and nationalist movements, American War of Independence, nationalist and democratic movements, imperialism up to 1914, important causes and results, the socialist movement, growth and socialist ideas and movements, Russian Revolution, world after World War II, United Nations, Cold War, technological development, world after World War II, United Nations, Cold War, technological development, emergence of Asia, Africa, Latin America, importance of the third world development, developing countries, the contemporary world and India, international peace and cooperation, new economic order, civics, man as a social being, man as a citizen, local self-government, state and national government, rights and duties of citizen, democracy in India, India as a nation, unity in diversity, social and economic challenges before our country, India and the world, India and the United Nations, project work. Geography, general geography of the world with special reference to India, landforms, continents, mountains, plains, landforms in India. Climate zones in the world. In India, natural religions in the world, tropical temperature, cold lands, natural resources, soil, vegetation, animals, minerals and water world in India. Major occupations: primitive, pastoral, agriculture and industrial. Agriculture: principal agricultural areas, crops and practices in the world and in India. Minerals and power: major minerals and mining areas, water and nuclear power. Industries: important areas and locations, heavy and light industries, production and output, transport and communications, land, water, air. International trade: communities, import and export, foreign exchange, population of the world and India. Distribution, density, control of population. Case studies: life of the people in various parts of the world and in India. Critical analysis of the curriculum as suggested by the issued by Patel Committee 1977. Pragmatic approach: the Patel Committee took note of the prevailing criticism leveled against the overloaded curriculum as prescribed under the new scheme of education, popularly known as a new pattern or 10+2+3 pattern of education. It rightly suggested the deletion of some material which has hardly needed in social studies. The committee empathetically observed, "We are of the view that one area in which the present scheme is overloaded is social studies or social sciences." The committee therefore recommended the inclusion of the courses in history, civics and geography and exclusion of subjects like economics, commerce and psychology in the pattern of general education for all classes. Curriculum according to the maturity level. Curriculum of social studies and social sciences psychologically sound as it has taken into consideration the level of maturity of the students. Social studies are to be taught as a part of the study of environment in classes. In our videos, social studies as a integrated subject, separate discipline at middle and high school stage classes. Syllabus frames. The committee has suggested frames and topics and not detailed contents of the syllabus. It has been left to the education departments, examination boards and schools to decide the details of the school's content in relation to their particular needs and in keeping with the facilities available. Curriculum related to the community. The curriculum takes care of the specific needs of the community. Significant social and economic problems form an important part of school curriculum. Well-knit curriculum. The curriculum for each classes is fairly connected. For instance, Indian and world history has been taken up in the form of biographies and stories at the primary stage, a detailed description at the middle stage. Flexibility of the curriculum. Care has been taken to ensure that the contents of the curriculum are so arranged and kept flexible so as to suit the needs of individual learners. The curriculum is capable of catering to the requirements of a wide range of learners and learning circumstances. It is suggestive and illustrative rather than prescriptive or restrictive. Self-contained courses. The courses are self-contained as well as